My name is Jen Bernardo Parsons. This year I have 28 first graders in my class. Do you know what that means? I have 28 inquisitive and unique brains and personalities to guide, about 56 parents to communicate with, and a new writing curriculum, math curriculum, and the Common Core to learn and implement. But I also have a classroom blog, and that means I have more time than teachers that don't. Yes, I'm talking to you, the teacher that runs the same copies over and over because their students lose them on the way home. The teacher wasting precious computer lab time navigating their students to websites. Yes, you. Allow me to take you back about 8 years. I was a brand new teacher and I was confident in my ability to type up detailed and adorable newsletters for the parents in my classroom once a week. As I began actually teaching, it turned out I didn't have enough time to get that newsletter finished and cute and delivered once a week. No problem, I thought. I would send home shorter updates to announce field trips, class projects, and the like. I took my sticky notes and typed up these reminders with care. I copied them, cut them out, and carefully stowed them in the children's homework folders. And I sat back, satisfied with my organized, communicating self. Well, I soon found out no one was reading my letters. I mean, no one. Parents were asking me questions about things that were so neatly and clearly discussed in the note I had just sent home. It kept happening again and again. I felt like I was talking to that proverbial brick wall. Clearly, the paper updates weren't working. As it happens, about that time I went to a tech conference and sat in on a session about blogging. Voila! This seemed like the solution I was looking for. I jumped right in and created my blog. I was able to make it cute, organized, and informative. I couldn't wait to share it with my parents. I'll admit, it took a bit to get those parents on board. It was the middle of the year, and they were already used to asking me for every little thing. Old habits are hard to break. As the next year started, I introduced the blog first thing at back-to-school night. I showed parents how to sign up to follow it by email, and most of them did right away. Back then, not everyone had email, but I noticed I was having less repeated conversation with parents right away. I also noticed my sticky note collection was dying down quite a bit. Instead of keeping a stack of announcements to include in an email or to make a note to go home, I just sat down and posted them on the blog. With each new year, I had more parents following the blog, and I was getting used to communicating this way. When parents emailed me with a question, I could just send a link to the appropriate post. But I was still sending home a special schedule every month, because if you don't have the right shoes for PE, that's a major issue when you're 6. And this may be hard to believe, but I would sometimes forget to send those schedules home on time, and some got lost by the 6-year-olds I gave them to. Back to the copy machine. Good thing I had all that extra time during my planning period. During one of these fun trips down the hall, it occurred to me, could I find a way to post this on the blog? I created the calendar in Google and I shared the link. Ta-da! Anytime, day or night, parents could now find out what was on our schedule the next day for specials. I noticed that I had less extra conversations with parents right away, and less 6-year-olds in flip-flops with tears in their eyes. One day during math, when we were doing our calendar routine, I noticed that my students were as bored as I was with practicing on our class number grid. Not that a teacher using a pointer to point to the same old numbers every day isn't engaging, I thought, but perhaps there was a better way. I knew there were counting videos on the internet that could help. What if I found a way to post those on the classroom blog and we watched those instead? I jumped on YouTube and I found what I wanted, jumped on Google to learn how to get them onto my blog, and boom! Calendar time became a daily hit. Miss Parsons was on a roll. Just like when I learned how to add links, now I was fired up with my new knowledge of posting videos. I was finding ways to connect to our various curriculum. Soon I had short literacy videos for shared readings, videos that introduced reading strategies, and others that I used to introduce science units. Shortly after that, I was helping a parent to find our class blog by following the links from our school website, and lightning struck me again. I could teach my kids to get to the blog the same way. The computers at school automatically use the school website as the default homepage. In 4 clicks, I could have them on my blog where I could post links for them to visit. This was a total game changer. I posted a reading site on our blog the morning of our next trip to the computer lab. After watching me twice, they were able to get from the school website to the blog independently. Then I asked them to click on the picture at the top of the blog that was linked to the site. Woohoo! Just like that, 26 first graders were independently learning instead of struggling to get to the correct site. After a short happy dance, I started calculating the possibilities of this new trick. Computer lab time was never the same. I was able to find online games that connected to our curriculum and posted the links to follow. Now you may be talking back to the screen right now saying, Jen, I have a class website. It has announcements and schedules and interactive games and videos, but it seems like no one is watching. Settle down. It's okay. I totally understand. Remember those reminder notes I used to write? Ask yourself these questions. Does my website automatically email parents when I post something? Does new information naturally fall at the top of the site so that visitors can immediately see the most recent updates? The answers to these questions might give you insight as to why a static website doesn't work as well as a blog. So, now here I am with 28 first graders. Do I have a ton of time on my hands because of my blog? No, I'm still a teacher after all. But I do have more time than I had before, and my class is taking advantage of technology in ways I didn't think they could in first grade. Bottom line, I'm a better teacher with a blog.